What up? I'm Josh Paulson, and this is Inspector Josh Investigates TV, where we reverse engineer TV shows to draw story writing lessons from them. Today we'll be looking at The Shield, Season 1, Episode 2, the pilot. Warning, spoilers for this episode are ahead. Our lesson today is that everyone has values, we just value them differently and have different values. Here's why it's important. Often we see villains or characters as either holding all of our values or none of them. For example, they might be a murderer and a thief, and they might be pro these other things we don't like. Basically, we just think of people as being all bad or all good, completely agreeing or disagreeing with us, and we kind of base other people's morality on our own. But this isn't accurate to how people really work. We have varying values, we just value things differently. And where we hold similar values, they're different, and we might not even hold the same values at all. If we want believable villains, we can't just remove all of their values. We need to instead reorganize their values and or give them different values. Here's how it's demonstrated in this episode. So Vic values his team, general peace, and doesn't value keeping the rules above seeing justice he wants done. So he's willing to break the rules very clearly in order to accomplish what he's looking to accomplish. We see him practicing police brutality, collaborating with drug dealers, shooting another officer. Obviously things that most of us would not think are good. I definitely don't. Yet at the same time, even though we, or at least I, really dislike him for these things and strongly disagree, I do like that he aims to get things done. And I like that he gets results in a lot of cases. He values keeping the general peace and taking care of justice, but he values things way differently than I, and probably you, do too. And we can see a direct contrast between him and David. David is trying to pin Vic for his illegal activities, and yet at the same time, we do see a shift in David in that later on he asks for Vic's help, and he turns a blind eye to his brutality on a suspect. These characters all hold values, but they value things differently. Now here's how you can use this in your own shows. Maybe your mass-murdering villain values respect and won't ever kill somebody in a way that would disgrace them. They also will never be sneaky about it. They obviously don't value human life, but they do value respect, and they respect other people, except that they'll kill them. Maybe, on the other hand, your playful character who loves people and connecting values honesty very highly and doesn't value privacy at all, so she blurts out other people's deepest secrets and her own. Obviously, she doesn't value privacy like other people do. She does value honesty, and we can respect that, but she's taking it in a way that we don't really probably line up with her on that. Or maybe the king of your fictitious nation hates murder, stealing, and spying, but what they hate more than anything is conflict. So they avoid exercising justice where it would produce conflict rather than quelch it long term. So for example, maybe a neighboring nation is stealing from theirs, and you know what? I don't really want to confront that right now because that's going to cause more problems, at least right now. That might be how your king would respond, and so then you can see how these differing values affect the way that these characters interact. So ask what your characters value, and you can even make a list organizing their deepest values so that you can see what they'd sacrifice for what. Because if, for example, somebody values having honesty, but in order to value that honesty, they have to sacrifice somebody else's privacy, well, depending on how they value things, they might blurt out, they might hold back. So knowing the order of the values will show what somebody will sacrifice for what. Seeing these things and organizing values will help you see characters' depths and where they would go forward and where they wouldn't. Everyone has values. We just value them differently and have different values. And with that, I'd say it's safe to say, case closed. Thank you for listening. We'll be back with another episode next Monday. Sorry about the lateness on this one. You can follow me at Josh Paulson on Twitter, or you can check out my website, joshpaulson.com, for more great free stuff. I also have a newsletter now where you can get notes from this podcast. So if you'd like written notes from the episode, you can go to joshpaulson.com and sign up for that newsletter. Have a fantastic week and let me know what awesome stuff you're up to. Take care.